From the pharaohs of Egypt to the super eagles flight, the Atlas lions roar with might. The elephants of Cote d'Ivoire charge ahead. Teranga lions never dread. The black stars shine in Ghana's sky. Bafana, Bafana dance, spirits high. The Sablé antelopes leap with grace, and the desert foxes set the pace. One Africa, one goal. Feel the passion in your soul. From the mountains to the shore, we play for pride, we roar as one. Moj Africa, Mojando,
One Africa, one dream.
Uma Africa, Umenti,
One Africa, one mind, sing.
Moj Africa, Wajando, Uma Africa, one mind, still so. Lions never fall. The warriors of Zimbabwe stand tall. The flames of Malawi burn bright, and the leopards of Congo fight the fight. The stallions of Burkina gallop free. The panthers of Gabon climb the tree. The scorpions sting with Gambia's pride, and the tortoise of Guinea-Bissau won't hide. Blow the vuvuzela out loud, flags are waving high in the sky. Unité dans chaque jeu, unity in every place. Orgulho africano, vamos vencer.
African pride will prevail. One Africa, one goal.
Welcome, 97.3. I am Gabby Affair. It's time for Inside AFCON 2025 on your favorite dial 97.3. You can find me on X at Gabby Milito7, and also you can leave your thoughts there with the hashtag Citi Sports. This is your place for everything AFCON talk. The semi-finals will kickstart later tomorrow, and the third place and the final Saturday, Sunday. Welcome again to the show. You can text into the show 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. Today we are going to look at the four coaches who have guided their teams to the semi-finals of the AFCON. And then the Black Stars of Ghana are not at the AFCON, but there's still some Ghanaian connection to talk about. That's Daniel Laye. He's set to officiate the game between the host nation Morocco and Nigeria at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium in Rabat later tomorrow. So for Morocco, their head coach is Walid Regragui. He's a Moroccan. For Senegal, they have Papi Bounathiao, Senegalese. And for Nigeria, they have Eric Shell, who is a Malian. And for Egypt, they've got Hossam Hassan, Egyptian. The four local coaches taking charge of the semi-finalists at this year's AFCON. Well, disproving, right, the popular local notion that they are given few opportunities on their own continent. It's actually the first time in the history of the competition that all four semi-finals are managed by African coaches. So what it means is that on Wednesday, one thing is certain. One thing is always certain. An African coach will lift the African Cup of Nations. But it will not be the first time. The last three tournaments, AFCON 2019, we had Jamel Belmadi, Algerian, winning the AFCON. And then in 2021, we had Aliou Cissé, Senegalese. And then in 2023, we had an Ivorian in MS Faye winning the AFCON. All won by African coaches. Yep. I've got Bernard Abeg, who are in studio with me, and Yao Ejemi, my guys, for today's discussions. You can also join in by sending your thoughts on 053996 996. Welcome to Inside AFCON. I am Gabi Ofe. Let me welcome my two guys, Yao and Bernard. Hi, guys. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
I think by Sunday we will be done, right? With the AFCON. It started all the way in December, ending in January.
18.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic tournament. It's been great. Today we are not looking at the teams. We're rather looking at the managers or the coaches who have qualified the 4 teams to the semi-finals. And then I'm super excited to talk about Daniel Lai. He'll be coaching. He'll be the center referee for Nigeria and Morocco. Let's start. Bernard, why are you laughing?
I'm excited.
You're also excited.
Yeah, I'm actually in the midst of an emotion. Like a mixed
Okay,
emotion,
we'll get into that talk. I know your submission. I know
my
what you
submission
want to say. I'm preempting.
That's fine.
Yeah. So I mean, just like I said in my intro, 4 local coaches. So what it means on Sunday is that definitely it's an African coach who would guide his team to winning the AFCON. I've monitored a lot of conversations around how African coaches perform when it comes to our flagship tournament in the AFCON itself, and then if they can take that shine to the World Cup itself. But I just want us to focus on the AFCON itself. So Morocco, I've got Walid Regragui. He's a Moroccan. I think everybody who's followed Morocco and the last AFCON knows who Walid is. Guided Morocco to the semi-finals of the Qatar World Cup in 2022. He's taking this team to the semis of the tournament. Now, before even he did with the Moroccan national team at the Qatar tournament, he was with that athletic club, right? He was winning the CAF Champions League. I think he won on 3 occasions. Yeah, I stand to be corrected.
At least he won one.
He won one. Okay, so he was part of and then the Moroccan national team came for him. For Senegal, Papi Thiaw also took over from Aliou Cisse. After that exploit with the under-20 team, I think he's done okay with where he's taking the Senegalese team to the AFCON. Eric Shaw, that's Yao's favorite man, was at the last AFCON with Mali. He's Malian, but he is with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, guided the Super Eagles to a semi-final of this year's AFCON. And then the final one, the legendary Hossam Hassan, Egyptian, 3 AFCON titles to his name as a player. He's looking to win it as a coach. Let me start off with you, Bernard Abeku Oshre.
Charlie, why this guy? fair, let's go.
No, you see, I've mentioned people's name. I mentioned everybody's first name and surname. I'm talking about the coaches. I have to mention your first name and surname.
Fair point. Fair.
So Bernard Abeku Oshre, talk to me. Which of the 4 coaches do you like? And if you pick, then you speak about his job for me.
Why would you do that? It's difficult, isn't it?
No, it's not. Just pick any of the 4.
It's difficult. See, I know Yao loves MS for a reason. From where he came from, nobody gave him that chance or opportunity to excel. Okay. And then he did great with his country.
You're talking about MS5?
Yes. Okay. In a period where there was tension, in a period where people didn't believe in the national team. In one of the years that the least expected that it was going to be Ivory Coast winning the trophy. So I respect him. I look. just maybe give me one.
Okay, so you pick one.
That's if you're returning with the same question.
Okay, so I'm giving you.
Fair point. Let's do the host nation. Great, Morocco.
Okay.
So Morocco, just like you indicated, I mean, you started the argument, right? On point. You can talk about his history at club level. 50 years old, born on September 23, 1975. You check his win rate is done 64 matches as a Moroccan coach. Won 47, had 9 draws and 8 losses. That speaks well of a manager. It means he's gotten about 61% in terms of win rate. Okay, and that sells him well as a national team coach. And just like you indicate, you check his trophy cabinet. He's done a lot. He's been fantastic, at club level in the CAF Champions League. He's he's really got a good CV, and also, as a player for AC Ajaccio, did a bit of good for himself, as well. But here is the point: what makes him exceptional? What makes him stand out in his exploits, guiding the Egyptians guiding the Moroccans to a host and win, just like Cote d'Ivoire did. It takes a bit of grit and knowing your qualities as a manager. I've read articles on different managers and listened to players who've played under different. I say this a lot. Thiago Alcantara talk about different managers he worked under and their mannerisms and what gives them success, churning that into play, and what's the distribution on pitches, especially when you are with the ball as a team. I feel the tactical organization of Walid makes him stand out. You watch the four coaches. He's gotten players with that trait to be able to understand the concept of his tactical organization. Because organization is key in football. Aside the formation that you have as a coach, that best sells you. So in this case, we take an example, Ruben Amorim, a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 situation, a Pep Guardiola shifting into a 4-2-3-1, occasionally doing a 4-3-3. Aside these formational things you organize on the pitch of play, they should sit in your system. When we have the ball, where do we want to move to? When we have the ball in the middle, the guy in the middle, which boxes does he run to, and staying disciplined in that shell and returning back in position to ensure that the team is tactically organized with and without the ball. It is when the game in its advancement has gotten to understand that we have inverted laterals in the game who add up into the midfield. Then the midfielder, who is a defensive midfielder, drops and sits in the middle of what we call naturally the 4 and 5 to make it a back three system on the offensive and add numbers up front, doing it the pyramid style of football, the old style of football where you have 5 players attacking in the box at a certain point in time. All I'm trying to describe is you need a team to understand the coach's system or the coach's tactics, to be able to sit in a certain way to absorb the opposition threat and to make sure they don't concede a lot. I feel this coach has a bit of tactical organization. He blends that with defensive solidity, and it is shown in how they how Morocco play as a nation. If you are not watching them tactically, you might not enjoy their game, because in some games you don't really see they are focused much more on results and staying as a unit in a certain shape. I feel he possesses such qualities, and it is why Morocco sits where they are now. I know I'm not to talk about the other coach. Maybe you go to your pick a coach and I come back. But I feel these qualities have sold what Morocco want to preach, and he's that guy who believes, even though he's a young coach, look, 50 years in football as a manager is young, but as a young manager as he is, he's able to instill what he wants, and the players respect the history of him, getting certain laurels in his cabinet, and that has, helped the organization of the team. They have the number 12 also in position for them, and I know they are having a party, and I mean it's such qualities that I feel makes him stand tall and put him in that bracket of a coach who can win the trophy with Morocco.
Talk to me. Do you think the 4 African coaches, right, have consistently demonstrated a deeper connection with their squads? I say so because they are Africans, and they are dealing with their own people. Do you think that has helped us get to why we are having this conversation? Because there's actually a long, rich history of those who have done it, and then these 4.
I don't think so. I think that bit is
it's blown out of.
I think it's a bit overrated. In the sense that if it's part of the equation, yes, it helps. But if it's not part of the equation, it doesn't hit.
Okay.
So I'm a bit indifferent when it comes to this particular issue, in the sense that Eric Shell isn't from Nigeria.
Yeah, he's
but
Malian.
At the end of the day, French Malian, yeah. But at the end of the day, look at the job that he's been able to do under so much pressure, coming into the situation where you have a team that made it to the 2023 AFCON final. They lost it. And after that loss, the coach who led them to that final left under acrimonious circumstances. There was upheaval regarding the World Cup qualifiers. Then he came in with a lot of question marks, because once he was named as the Nigerian head coach, the first line of thought that came to mind was, isn't this the guy who blew the chance to get Mali into the semi-finals at the last AFCON and had to be cooled down by an assistant manager, had water poured on his head, that kind of thing. And if you have a situation where you are hiring the coach who got sacked by Mali, and Mali is not in the same tier as Nigeria. So you are hiring a coach who got sacked by Mali, a country which is not in the same football tier as Nigeria. You are getting a coach who blew a quarter-final lead in a game that had Cote d'Ivoire playing over a full-blown hour with 10 men. And he still ended up blowing it and losing that game. So there were serious question marks about Eric Shell. Then you find the circumstance that he entered, or he got himself into, a team that had this World Cup qualification campaign all over the place. Everything pretty much was in shambles. But look at where he's been able to steer this team to. Look at how he's gone about his business. He managing to deal with that whole episode of the Lukman or Osimhen situation, the bonuses, unpaid bonuses. Everything has been very run very professionally. It has been tight. He has run a very tight ship, in the sense that information doesn't leak out. The team looks prepped every time. They are very professional in the things in the way they do things, and the way they've gone about their business. It just speaks well of the coach, because the team is a reflection of the coach. And so for me, per the question you asked, yes, it's great to have Hossam Hassan leading Egypt. I saw him crying after their win.
They qualified,
over Cote d'Ivoire. It shows how much passion that he has for the nation. Papi Thiaw, very good story in there. You look at Morocco, Walid Regragui, brilliant stuff. But I don't think that having more or less a native of the country as a head coach, it adds, it gives you a sizable advantage.
The country's brilliance.
No, I don't think so. If it's part of it, like I said, it makes it more wholesome.
So one of the factors.
Yes, one of the factors, but it's a negligible factor. Yeah, you can neglect it, you can include it, you get it. But if the person is not a native of the country, I don't think it's a big deal. The most important thing is you being able to deliver. I think sometimes we get a little bit caught with the sentiments. And he's a native. He's a former.
And all of that.
Exactly. Those are sentimental issues. That's for creating content, creating media content, creating more or less art content. Those things you can spin it around, make it into a brilliant documentary. It's brilliant. But at the end of the day, it's all about you being able to deliver the goods. And when it comes to delivering the goods, there's no room for those kind of sentiments. So for me, I don't think it adds much. I don't think it adds anything at all. It's all about you being able to deliver. And when you look at an example like Eric Shell, what he's done with Nigeria, it's just a perfect way of me explaining my point. At the end of the day, yes, Ghana did you qualify to the AFCON?
No.
We didn't qualify. But at the end of the day, it's a native
Yeah.
of the country that's the head
That's
coach.
Okay.
It's all about you being able to deliver
Yeah.
the results.
The stats actually say that it's the third successive AFCON, right? That we've had the African coaches outnumbering the expatriates. So what it means is that it starts right from 2021, 2023 in Cote d'Ivoire, and then now. Previously, the stats also said that it was just only 6 out of the 32. So you had the expatriates outnumbering the locals. Now the locals have outnumbered the expatriates. The next question I just want to throw to the two of you, we do it quickly and then we go to Daniel Lai, is that now we've seen them do what they are good at on the
When
African
you say we
scene.
do it quickly, what's up when you tend to observe the time?
Now, I think we all watched Senegal against Brazil.
Yeah.
Papi Thiaw versus Carlo Ancelotti. When you see that, do you think that we are able to learn from the Europeans and get to that level? And then, what would you be expecting when these African coaches go to the global stage? They get to match up against the elite.
I watched the coaches interview in the just ended. There was a game where Flamengo played.
Even the Club World Cup.
Is it the Club World Cup? I'd have to remember. But there was one game that I watched, the presser. I'll record the game and let you know, where the coach was describing the golfing class between the two teams who played, and hence, in terms of, you see, you can be a very good coach, but if you don't have proper facilities and aside an example, you look at our local coaches here in our scene. When they move to certain clubs, they don't perform. Okay, it's by virtue of he might be technical, and this submission is a little controversial. The coaches that have gotten a little bit of a good facility to train its players who are playing on AstroTurfs, who are playing. For example, I pick Prosper Natelgum. When he was at Wafa, you watch how he plays with Wafa, and when he was with Elimina Sharks or Dwarfs, I'm not saying he didn't perform in those eras, but what I'm saying is, you can see at Wafa they were consistent with a certain style of play because they've gotten good facilities to train on, and it brings the coaches and their images out. It's why when you are a coach in the European front and you are not good, it really shows that you are not good. Okay. Because everything is available and at your doorstep. So what I can say is, there's a gap. There's a gap between the coaches we have here, what they're doing with the African country, various African countries, and
that of what we see in Europe.
Yeah. You and of course the
place. Is Morocco's exploits at the last World Cup. Is that not proper evidence?
Because Morocco has gotten
one of the tangibles to show that
Morocco has gotten good facilities.
Yeah, Morocco kicked out Portugal at the time. Yeah. They kicked out to Spain. They played against Croatia. They fell short and finished 4th.
Yeah.
Zlatko Dalic was Croatia's and is still Croatia's coach. Portugal at the time was I think Fernando Santos, I believe.
Yes.
Fernando at the time. Santos. And then Spain, I think, I cannot recall, but I'm sure would be an elite coach at the time.
Yeah, and is
it not Julian Lopetegui?
I know we would have to check.
No, it was Fernando Hierro.
Fernando Hierro.
It was Lopetegui who was supposed to be the Spanish head coach, but he had agreed to be the Real Madrid head coach.
Yeah, I remember.
And because of that, they had to let him go. The Spanish Federation dismissed him and replaced him with Fernando Hierro.
Okay. So Bernard, you finish up.
Yeah. So it's a golfing class between the coaches and what they are able to churn out and the understanding of the players that sells these coaches. But I mean, again, it also comes to what their thoughts, the kind of licensing they hold. UEFA Pro license for an official, and you compare that to respectfully, let me not put names, but the coaches go through refined schemes that helps them tactically to advance. I'm not saying the coaches here in Africa don't go through such chain, but it takes time. It takes time to churn these. It takes a national team a bit of time to help his coaches gain that sort of knowledge and sit in seminars and upgrade and all of that. So that difference is there. But if you have very good squad, like the Ivorians had in the last AFCON and decided to play together, the Moroccans have in this AFCON and decide to play together. The Nigerians have in this AFCON and decide to play together. It helps the coaches as well because the players get to understand the kind of instructional tactical notes faster, and it helps in their delivery. So for me, it's as a golfing class, the kind of knowledge they absorb, and it will put them a notch higher to the coaches we have in Africa. But that said, it does not mean that they are not good. At the CAF level, Walid has gotten the CAF Confederations Cup. He's gotten the
Butola Pro League.
Butola
For the Moroccan
Pro
League.
League from in the Moroccan League and all of that. So at that level in Africa, he there's more room for him to get out there and advance because the coaching. I told you I've gotten a PDF on tactical formations that spreads out over 300 formations in coaching, and it's about the systems and its adjustment, and some of these knowledge out there help advance these coaches. So for me, I feel there's a difference in there, but the African coaches are trying. They are really trying because for Wally to go into the World Cup space and to be recall James Kwesiapia met Germany with Ghana and with his tactical instructions and players agreeing to play as a unit. The Germans were really amazed at the kind of football that we exhibited, that day. So, and given any other day, we also saw Otuado with Ghana against Japan. Is it South Korea?
Yeah.
3-2. The 3-2 was South Korea.
Yeah.
And we saw how the boys decided to come together and play as a force using what they've practiced, at training grounds. So there's more room for African coaches to grow and learn and all of that. So,
Okay.
So yeah.
So we'll do this and then we'll wrap up. We're rating the coaches now. Who are you placing first?
Hossam
Hassan as your first? Second?
Walid Wagragui.
Okay. Your third?
Eric Shell.
I don't need to ask them for quick silence.
Thank you.
Yeah, just quick thoughts on okay, let's just do the rating. If you want to rate the folk, I mean, if you are rating the job they've done, not just our national team, but since you started following, who would you put first?
Is it the AFCON or what?
Entire body of work. Entire body of work.
Entire body of work. Then it will have to be Walid Regragui.
Okay.
Because he's more experienced. He's been in the job longer than these guys. I mean, when did Papetia become the head coach of Senegal? So. I honestly, I don't think it's a fair assessment because Walid Regragui would definitely be way ahead of the rest.
Okay, because I'm looking at Hossam's record.
Because he went to
You're looking
the
at
World
Hossam's
Cup.
record?
Yeah,
because he went to the World Cup
managerial
and made it to the semi-finals. You can't top that. It's very difficult to top that. But in terms of if you are limiting it to
the AFCON,
I'll give Eric Shell first place, followed by Papetia. Then I'll give it to Walid Regragui. Then number 4, Hossam Hassan. Number 2, Papetia, because you are taking over from Senegal
after they've won
an AFCON winner in recent years with a coach who was very likable.
And I'd done 7 years.
Yes, and they let him go. And you coming in, there were some question marks whether he could step into the shoes and be able to deliver. And so far, what he's done has been very, very good. It has been brilliant so far. And so, if I'm ranking per the AFCON, I'll give the number 1 spot to Eric Shell, number 2 to Papi Thiaw, number 3 Regagi, the head coach of Morocco, and number 4 will be Hossam Hassan. Regagi, because his team hasn't necessarily impressed throughout this competition, and they haven't really shown that kind of growth that I expected from them. Looking at how far they've come based on what they've done from 2022 till this point. And so, yeah, in that sense, I'll rank those 2, Papi Thiaw and Eric Shell, ahead of Regagi, with Hossam Hassan coming in 4th place.
Okay. You want to say something?
No, today you just decided to ask a lot of controversial questions.
Why decided to ask
I must say
controversial questions?
Because you've not sieved it to a certain area.
Okay. You think I've broadened the conversation?
Yeah. It's too,
okay, so if you want to do the
broad.
AFCON, just at the AFCON, what you've seen, who is speaking first? Because I asked you for the body of work. So, i.e. the clubs. Because I'm checking Hossam's record. He's done a lot of club football management. Zamalek, Al Masr, mostly in the Egyptian league. Yeah. And so his proper national team job is with this Egyptian team. At the AFCON. Because they sacked Carlos Queiroz, right?
Yeah.
And then he came in to take charge. But like Yao said, with Walid, he's gone to a World Cup. He's gone through AFCON qualification series. He's gone through World Cup qualification series again. And then he's gone through the AFCON proper. So you get it. So you still want to stick to us?
Fair.
We good?
Fair, yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Flags are waving high in the sky.
Right, so the 4 coaches will be on the touchline later on Wednesday. Eric Shaw with Nigeria, Walid Regragui with Morocco, Hossam Hassan with Egypt. Then Papi Bouna Thiaw with Senegal. Tomorrow, we'll be here to bring you live radio commentary
From the mountains to the shore,
on BBC World Service
we play for pride, we roll.
for the AFCON.
Moj Africa, Moj Andoto.
So do join us later
Let the world
for that.
see how we do it.
You're still listening to Inside AFCON on 97.3. I'm Gabi Affair. I've got Bernard Abeiko watching in studio with me and Yao J. Minta. You can join the conversation by sending your thoughts on 054996 986 Let's switch the conversation. Let's get to Daniel Lai. Now, for those of you who have not been following the AFCON, he's a Ghanaian referee. He's the only Ghanaian referee at the AFCON in Morocco. So today the update was that CAF has appointed him as the center referee for that clash between Nigeria and Morocco in Rabat later tomorrow. CAF says that Daniel Lai should go and oversee that game. And so that will be his second as a center referee at the AFCON. The first was against, the first he did was between Algeria and Burkina Faso on December 28, 2025. That was a high profile Group E clash. He gets to do another high-profile semi-final clash. But before he will do that tomorrow, he was the lead VAR, so video assistant referee between Morocco and Cameroon on January 9. Let me start off with you, Yao. When we saw the update, we were... Because I think yesterday I read out the list of referees who CAF had passed to officiate in the semi-finals. I don't know if there was a change, but... were you surprised to see CAF appoint Daniel Lai? One, you're looking at the profile of the game he's going to officiate as center referee. Nigeria up against the host nation. Daniel Lai is Ghanaian, West African. Were you surprised to see that decision by CAF?
Yes, I was very surprised. Based on precedents or preceding events. I was very surprised in the sense that we had a situation where Morocco were about to play against Cameroon.
Yeah.
And then an Egyptian official was appointed as the lead official or the center referee.
Mm-hmm.
And Morocco protested and had him changed. And eventually he was handed over to a Mauritanian referee.
Mm-hmm.
And Mauritania is in the Wafu zone.
Yeah.
But apparently prior to this AFCON, there were discussions about moving them and getting them to join, I believe, the North African zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in that sense, bringing in a Mauritanian referee was a bit of a neutral option.
Yeah.
Because Morocco is North African, Cameroon is in Central Africa, though geographically everything points to the fact that, and economically, it should be in West Africa, but they are part of the Central Africa bloc.
Mm-hmm.
And so we stick to that. And so bringing in a Mauritanian coach, a Mauritanian referee, looked like a neutral option.
Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised to have or to see Daniel Lai being appointed as the lead referee in this game, because Morocco is from North Africa, Nigeria is in West Africa, Ghana is in West Africa, the country where Daniel Lai is from.
Yeah.
And Ghana has very close ties with Nigeria, or to Nigeria. And so that made me very surprised, because at the end of the day, it's because of some underlying issues in terms of relationship. That was the reason why Morocco pushed and protested against the appointment of Amir Mohammed as the referee for their game against Cameroon. So in this case, Nigeria and Ghana have very close ties. And so seeing Daniel Lai named as the center referee, the main official, that for me was quite surprising. And yeah, I'm surprised Morocco having protested because of, again, preceding events.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. It's not every day that you get to officiate the semi-final game at the AFCON, especially at the AFCON that has gained a lot of traction and a lot of media coverage, a lot of audience all over the world. And so it's a big deal. And yeah, it's a big plus to Ghana football, particularly with the Ghana referees, who get a lot of slight comments from pretty much every stakeholder in the Ghanaian football fraternity. Their image has been tarnished over and over again. Their standards have been questioned. Their professionalism has been questioned. So yes, even though he's an outlier, it still is a good story and a good news for Ghana football, particularly Ghana referees, to be able to have one of their own officiate a game at this stage in world football. It is a big deal. But here you have a situation where he will need to be 1,000% excellent, because even if he makes one or two mistakes, he can have a brilliant game.
Yeah.
But even if he makes one or two mistakes, maybe wrong calls or dodgy calls or controversial calls, the level of scrutiny that he will go through, it's immense.
On the part of the Moroccans especially?
Both sides.
Both sides, okay.
Because Nigeria is Nigeria. 200 million people. Over 200 million people. At least you have 200 million people who are into football, who are supporting the Super Eagles. That is enormous pressure. And then there's that whole cultural mix.
Okay.
Ghana, Nigeria football rivalry, banter.
Yeah.
It's not as deep as, let's say, Morocco or Algeria.
Okay, so
but
they
there is
look
that
at it from a different view.
Yeah, they will also look at it from a different view. That, imagine, let's say there's a controversial penalty call that Daniel Lai makes, and it goes in favor of Morocco. Morocco scored that, they qualified to the final. Imagine the narrative. Ghana man does not want Nigeria to qualify to the final and potentially win a fourth AFCON and tie Ghana's record at the AFCON.
Yeah.
Those things will come up. Then on the other side, if you give a controversial call in favor of Nigeria, as you mentioned, Morocco is the host nation, a very powerful stakeholder in African football. It will also dissolve into another big scandal. On top of because at the end of the day, they are the host nation. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. And so Daniel Lai has been put in a very difficult position. And like I said, he'll have to be 1,000%. Where
Do you think
every call that he makes, it has to be spot on, that you can't argue.
Okay.
No matter how difficult it is to break down a 50-50 challenge, it will have to be so good. In the interpretation of the law, would have to be so good that even the staunchest supporter of let's say Morocco or Nigeria, once the decision is made, wouldn't have pretty much anything to complain about. That's the kind of game that he will have to have.
Okay.
And that is very difficult on the man, for him to be able to deliver a game where he has to score 1,000%. And so yes, it's a blessing and a curse, because he has been put in the grand spotlight, but at the same time he has been put in a very difficult position where it could make him as an elite coach, as an elite referee who can officiate games at the World Cup, or it cannot make him and prevent him from being able to take that next step in his career, because he's built his way up all the way to the AFCON level. The next one is definitely the World Cup, and this game, it could push him there, or it could just end it.
So I'm looking at the match officials, the one CAF put out. So just to educate our viewers and listeners, there is Daniel Lai from Ghana. Assistant referee 1 is a South African, Zakele Thusi Granville Siwele. Assistant referee 2 is from South Sudan, Suru Fatsuoni. Assistant referee 3 is from Mozambique, Arisenio Chadrike Maringule. And then the 4th official is Samuel Uwikunda from Gabon. VAR official is South African, Abongele Tom.
I thought that he would be the center referee. But he also got some complaints.
Because I remember we had a discussion about him.
He also got some complaints from the game that he officiated in the quarterfinal. And so there's a bit of
assistant VAR 1 is from Tunisia, Haytham Gurat. Assistant VAR 2, Stephen Oyango Yimbe from Kenya. Referee assessor Lydia Tafesa Abebe from Ethiopia. Now, when I look at the comments on CAF's Twitter handle, right, he says, I can still accept a Ghanaian referee, but a South African referee being the VAR for the Nigerian match is a big concern. Another person says that this is a Nigeria vs CAF match. Why would you appoint all Nigeria's strongest enemies as the match officials? So people are already beginning to have their own doubt. But now this question is for you. When you look at what happened to Senegalese referee Issa C, he was the center referee for Nigeria. When some Algerian players and officials after the game were not too happy, went on to attack him and all of that. If you are Daniel Lai and you see this, what do you think will be running through your mind? And what do you think is that one thing he should refrain from on that very day? Taking into consideration that Issa C has already dealt with one North African country in Algeria, he also will be dealing with another North African country in Morocco.
The North African countries and its players are controversial, first off. They know how to get into a player's mind. It's one of the reasons why, under the rules of the game, it was established that players should not be telling the referee what to do in games.
Okay.
You know,
But players do that every
yeah,
time.
that's why they left it for the captain alone. That's why when an incident occurs on the pitch of play, and the player decides to get to the referee and talk to, and
You'll
it's
be
not
shown
the
a card.
captain, you'll be shown.
Yeah, that's
card.
what decent. You be booked for decent.
That's a decent. No, that's
It's not. That's
decent.
it.
Yeah, descent.
Decent.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, descent.
Decent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking about other stuff. You know.
Yeah.
So it's good to establish that when you go into a game. Look, Daniel Lai was FIFA badged in 2014. Okay, 2014 up until
25. Sorry, 6.
2026.
The experience is there.
Look, and he's a referee that's he's not a lover of how do I better put this?
He wouldn't let the occasion get to him. That's what
The occasion won't get to Daniel Lai. He's
Okay.
officiated games at the CAF Champions League, CAF, interclub competition
Yeah.
levels. He's done the biggest game in Ghanaian football. He was at the 2022 World Cup. He's gotten a lot in his shell. It's not a certain Morocco and Nigeria that's going to scare him, because and he's not that guy who easily uses cards. He loves to manage the temperament of footballers, to try and keep the game balanced, other than going about and be showing cards here and there. I feel he should be himself. We know him to look. He's gotten all the experience, and we know him to be a disciplinarian. He goes into the game and takes control of the game, tame the players down, and gets them to play football. Rather than using antics to get a better part of the game out of its way. So for me, he should just stay as he is. The Daniel Lai that got him FIFA badged in 2014.
Because this is his biggest test yet.
At this AFCON, yeah.
Yeah, this AFCON and
Yeah.
every other game he's been the center referee.
Why? He was at the FIFA World Cup. That's the biggest stage.
Okay. What was his role there? He was VAR. He was part of the VAR official.
Yeah.
I'm talking about center referee.
Center referee.
When you're in the middle of the action, everything you take like the
Center referee. He's managed big games on the continent. At club level. You look at the Moroccan setup, and of course there are star players, individuals in there, but he the occasion don't get to Daniel Lai. He's a man who is a mentor to a lot of officiating officials.
yeah.
Who he's gotten the game under his control, and he looks at the game in particular, not looking at names and individuals who are bigger, and all of that. As a referee or as an official, you need to take decisions that help the course of the game, using your knowledge of the game, which you've read, you've gone through the proper training to acquire, and a bit of instinctive wisdom, common wisdom they call it in that space,
Yeah.
to be able to take important decisions. So for me, he's the guy, and games of this magnitude, he's the guy who should be at the center and be officiating and and getting us to have or enjoy.
So you think he'll be good?
I think he's
You don't
good.
think the occasion will get
Oh,
to
no
them?
way.
The Moroccans will misbehave and then he picks up some funny decision against Nigeria.
No.
For Nigeria.
No. He's going to stay calm and make sure he has the game at his feet, as if he is a player, playing or kicking the ball. He's a man for the occasion.
Interesting. Well, let's see how he fares. I'm actually rooting for him to do well, because like I think there's more like I don't want to say he's auditioning to get into the World Cup, because you've mentioned that he was at the World Cup, but at the World Cup he wasn't the center referee, and so if he's able to do well here, I'm sure CAF will put in a recommendation for him to FIFA. I think
he's the only Ghanaian that's able to get to that level in terms of officiating. I told you, he's not a FIFA at that level. Love referees who are able to control games, who are able to bring the players and their ego down and not get them to be super dramatic. Yeah, so he's not a card happy officiating official. So he gets the game in control, and in games of this magnitude, you see, it will surprise you. He's the guy to officiate.
Okay, all the best to Ghana's Daniel Lai. He's the center referee for that game involving Nigeria and Morocco. For the other game in Senegal and Egypt, the center referee is Pierre Ghislaine Acho from Gabon. And the assistant referee, they've got Boris Malaise Dichoga, also from Gabon. There is Steven Mutasi Moyo. He's from Burkina Faso. And then the VAR for that is from Kenya. That's Peter Wareru Kamaku. Those are your officials for tomorrow's game. Like I said, there will be live radio commentary later tomorrow from Rabat. So do join us for that game, Nigeria, Morocco. Guys, final say. I'm wishing Daniel Lai well.
I know. I'm a local football guy. I've seen him at that level, and he doesn't get intimidated with player antics and what have you. So I know he's going to stay calm and do the job, because that's his composure as an individual.
Yeah.
So like you say, okay, well, let us wish him all the best in tomorrow's game.
Yeah, well, you have the final say to wrap.
Yes. We'll have our predictions tomorrow ahead of the game, but it's a good thing for Ghana football that Daniel Lai is going to be the main referee to officiate that game between Morocco and Nigeria. But at the end of the day, we wish him well. But I honestly believe, the AFCON up to this point has been brilliant. It has been a very good showcase of African football. And I know that the best teams will qualify to the final. And I honestly believe it will be Nigeria and Senegal.
Hey, an all West African final. Right, let me just run you through the top scorers. So the scorers are the AFCON. So Brahim Diaz of Morocco has got 5 goals. Victor Osimhen with 4 goals. Mohamed Salah plays for Egypt. He has 4 goals too. Ademola Lookman of Nigeria has 3. There is Amad Diallo for Ivory Coast, 3 goals. El Kabi of Morocco, 3 goals. Mahrez, 3. Lassine Sinayoko plays for Mali. He has 3 goals at the AFCON. That's your show for today. We're back later tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. inside AFCON with me, Gabi Ofer. Here from the guys, Bernard Abeku Oshre, and also Yao J. Minta. Up next is Melody Fafa Potofi with the news at 4. Hi, Melody.
Hello, Gabi.
Take it away.
Coming up in the news at